that it might also go to say that the president knows that he's afraid to sack performing ministers. It might also mean to say that the president is not having a grip of his ministers or his team members. So if those are not the cases, then the president should come up front and tell us, why do we really need the Ministry of Livestock Development? Is this really going to make any sense in the process of enhancing food security? Is that the next thing to do?
Let's take a read, Sunday, from perhaps by virtue of the fact that this is one development that would raise a lot of conversations in the days ahead. You've taken so many some riders to that story. But let's critically look at what the content of the new by President Bola Tinubu. It says President Bola Tinubu has approved the creation of a new Ministry of Livestock Development, and this came as he inaugurated the Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee at the State House of Abuja on Tuesday. The committee is mandated to provide sector-focused solutions to address the age-long farmers' herders crisis. On September 14, 2023, the National Livestock Reforms Committee recommended that Tinubu create a Ministry of Livestock Resources to, among other deliverables, reduce the decades-long gory conflict between farmers and nomadic cattle herders nationwide. Former Kano State Governor and Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Ganduje, disclosed this to State House correspondent shortly after he led the committee in an audience with the President. It formed part of 21 recommendations captured in the document submitted to the President to enhance the federal government's holistic response to the lingering cases of bloodshed. Documents details of proposed solutions. Of course, you can go on to take that read. And perhaps, what other problem do we have in Nigeria, Sunday, if you can really think critically that we've not created a ministry for?
And maybe what has the ministry created for such problem done in solving the said problem? So then, I think we need a whole lot of
conversation. Will definitely quiet.
Let's see more stories are here. Filling stations to operate longer hours to aid supplies, SNNPC. Well, for me, that's really not making any different sense. You go to NNPC stations, they are under lock and key, while other stations will be selling fuel at exorbitant prices. And then the NNPC will keep coming out to tell us, we have more than enough supply. We have supply to... Where are the supplies? At which filling station? Go to the mega station as we speak, if it's not under lock and key. So then what are we saying? We operate longer hours. Which station are you telling to operate longer hours? I think we should move on. That does it on the Daily Trust.
All right, away from the Daily Trust this morning, the Daily Sun newspaper is up next for us to take a look at some of the headlines in the front page. The bold one in the front page of the Daily Sun today is as food crisis, Senate warns of nationwide protest, says food reserves empty. Check that story in the Daily Sun for today. It's on page 6. Now that we have our reserves, according to the Senate, empty, we begin to wonder, where do we go? Stop cursing Nigeria because of hardship, Shatima tells citizens. You also find this one on the new created by the President. Tinubu creates Ministry of Livestock Development, inaugurates Presidential Committee on Livestock Reforms. Bayeti Allah hails. That's on page 29. You find that story in the Daily Sun. FG spent 5.78 trillion naira on debt servicing in first 9 months of 2023. That's according to the Budget Office. You also find this one, bill to create special parliamentary seat for women passes second reading in House of Reps. Proposes 74 NAS, 108 State Assembly seats. That's on page 28. You also find SANU, NASU, hold nationwide protest, appeal to President over withheld salaries. You also find this one, NPAN, worried over fate of abducted Kaduna-based journalist still in captivity. ICPC laments high rate of sexual harassment in primary, secondary schools. That's on page 5, imagine, going down. That's supposed to be the core of our existence when you're talking about all of these decadence in primary schools now, in secondary schools before, now moving to primary schools. Finally, from the Daily Trust newspaper, Southeast Town Hall Union
billion naira oil production shortfall threatens 2024 budget. FG tackling issues. That's coming from presidency. 2 million barrel per day production achievable. That's coming from the NNPC boss, Kihari. And contractors bag. IOCs are saying that. Let's check details of the story, of course, in the Vanguard newspaper of this morning. Withheld salaries, Sanu, Nasu, cripple nations, varsities. That's on page 4. Tinubu creates Ministry of Livestock Development. Of course, we've taken that before. Let's also check these. Suspend Samoa agreement. Yes, we have that the other time. Hunger, Nigerians losing patience. Senate tells Tinubu. That's on page 4. Well, let's hope that Senate, the reps, the presidency, and every organ of government will do something fast to tackle the challenge. When Gary, there used to be a, I beg your pardon, the go-to, or particular expression, something you can just neglect or ignore, is becoming as expensive as anything. In fact, it's now even much more expensive than many of the other ones that you felt were expensive before. Then there's a problem.
What's happening to the cassava of Mr. President? Really? We'll take a look at that.
Honestly speaking, I still look forward to the time when we will broaden the conversation on that matter. The ministries of agriculture in all of the states, I honestly do not know what they're doing. You travel from Owo to Lagos, or from Lagos to any other place, you find forests and bushes on untapped resources on both sides of the road. I do not understand what's going on. And you find local government, I don't know where they are anymore anyway. There must be something to be done as far as that is concerned. Where is the demonstration farm of the Ministry of Agriculture, for instance, in Ondo State? Where is the demonstration farm of the federal local government, for instance? Akure South local government, for instance? All of those issues are very critical. If you are going to promote food sufficiency and security, there must be a way that we lead by example, not just all of this window dressing we're doing.
You also remember just about 2 days ago, the federal government lifting imports, tariffs, taxes, and duties on some commodities, rice, wheat, and all of that. So let's just hope, because it's necessary that we have that conversation. What are the challenges really? Is it about importing equipments for agriculture? Is it about security for some of the states that will not take in necessary steps to address food insecurity? Because when we talk about Mr. President, make reference to his cassava, definitely the states will also have an impact to also play in achieving all of these things, even down to the local government, now that the conversation is also still around ensuring that our local governments work optimally. So we hope we'll have that conversation, look at the challenges, look at the solutions, look at perhaps the possible timelines that we can work with, and we hope that those who have the powers to really implement all of these things will get to action.
Well, exactly, before you move to the Daily Independent, let's just hope that there will be someone or some people or a group of people that would have the courage and take the bull by the horn, bail the cat, and tell those in power to understand that we don't just want to be an importing economy. We want to be a productive economy, where any economy that is more of consumption and importation and less of production and exportation will not succeed. That's commonsensical. So there must be a way we will stop being an importing and consumption economy but we must also be a productive economy. What are we producing actually? What's our comparative advantage? What's our comparative advantage to other countries of the world? What exactly are the other countries in Africa and elsewhere depending on Nigeria for? So we must get serious.
All right, let's check all the papers or the dailies for you this morning. The Daily Independent, just like Sunday mentioned, is up next. The Daily Independent is also taking a lead, talking about the need for food security. Take emergency measures to end hunger. Senate tells FG. Address Nigerians and steps being taken to tackle situation. Reps asked FG to suspend Samoa agreement implementation. These are the riders to that bold one. It says bill seeking 74 legislative seat for women passes second reading. Other headlines in the front page of
minimum wage will really still be on course. Let's check the sporting arena this morning before we close shop. This segment of AM Today, Sporting Sun gives us some stories. PSG seeks 34 billion naira reduction in a cement transfer fee. Nigerian striker starts pre-season with Napoli. That one is on page 6 of the Sporting Sun this morning. And Coleman confirms Wiggles won't start against. That's on page 3 of Sporting Sun this morning. Do you have any other sporting story with you?
Should I? Let's check quickly from the Punch Sport Extra. The Punch Sport Extra is also here. It says what we have in the front page of the Wednesday edition of the Punch Sport Extra. You have the picture of the Super Eagles of Nigeria bowing in prayers. It comes with massive drop. Eagles squad value depreciates from 343 million euros to 252 million euros. Punch Sport Extra says it's a massive drop. Hope this massive drop does not mean massive drop in performance level of some of these players, but your performance level also comes with the way you are valued, right?
Of course.
So
it
check that
does not lead to massive failure.
Okay, that's it. That's like the result of all of these massive things. You check the Punch Sport Extra for that story. You also find Flamingos to face Mexico in friendly. More stories right there. Of course, celebration for the Spanish national team in the Euro 2024, winning against France, and of course, moving into the finals of Euro 2024.
Well, we hope and don't really believe that, like the Yorubas would say, may the orange tree bring sweet fruits.
Oranges, orange effect.
Okay, so then on the outlook this morning, we'll be taking our first break, and when we return, we'll be taking a closer look at how well our society will really progress, especially at a time like this. We'll start from Ondo State. Please stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá jà o. èjú bá jà o. ọ̀nà lọ́rùn bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o. èràbé má bá jà o má bá bínú ọ̀nà lọ́rùn bá ti rẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá jà o. ọ̀nà lọ́rùn bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o.
As we are all aware, this is also the year for our governorship election. Expectedly, political activities will gain prominence as we march towards the election. However, let me implore all political parties, aspirants, and their followers to eschew violent conduct that can threaten the peace and tranquility of our state, and ensure that they follow strictly the guidelines issued by the electoral umpire. The election should be a contest of ideas and choices and not an opportunity to settle political scores or an excuse for calumny.
Èràbé má bá jà o má bá bínú ọ̀nà lọ́rùn bá ti rẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá jà o. ọ̀nà lọ́rùn bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o.
There's a big economy that has been a problem to Nigeria. The livestock and animal husbandry. Ordinary dairy farm can grow an economy. Not to talk of yogurt and many other things that can come from animal. Talk to the governors. Let them make lands available. talk to others to collaborate with, the state. The lands are in the hands of the state governors. They can make provision for it. We are ready to put funds in place to help the herders rear their animal in a very, very, very polite way. We can do it, and we are going to do it.
This week hitherto fixed for the local government election in Ondo State ought to have been witnessing signs of activities towards the success of the elections, but the reverse is the case as people of Ondo State woke up to its postponement.
Our major mandate is to conduct an election into the offices in the local government area.
This meeting, initiated by the State Chairman, Electoral Commission, Dr. Joseph Aremo, was to intimate stakeholders on the Commission stand as regards the local government elections earlier scheduled for July 13.
We find out that what we have is not compliant with the rules and regulations. Therefore, the Commission, having reviewed this, decided to come out with this position that the election is hereby postponed. And it's not rescheduled, postponed definitely.
According to him, the postponement became necessary following the failure of political parties to submit their nomination forms and engage in the electoral processes.
We invited the leadership of IPA to meeting to charge them adequately that the day fees for the poll is very much sacrosanct. And we also told them at the commission that we were not going back. But quite unfortunate, as I speak, there's no single party that have complied. For us, no nomination, no valid nomination of candidates.
Reacting, Chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Commission, IPAC, Olaoluwa Adesanya, who spoke on behalf of all political parties in the state, confirmed that the parties deliberately boycotted the process.
After our last meeting here, we went to our office and decided among us that no political party should submit any nomination. Yes, we agreed among ourselves. We know you have the zeal to conduct free, fair, and credible elections, and we are going to support you when the time comes, but not now. We have agreed that the election can never be held or take place until we confirm some facts from Mr. Governor.
The commission announced to review its activities and communicate a new date in due course. Omori Olahunbiji.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 10th day of July 2024, and many people, if not all, in Ondo State were expecting in the next 3 days, I think, that talking about Saturday, I think that will be the 13th day, of July 2024 should be the day for local government election. Unfortunately, I think that should be the third postponement.
Okay.
In a series of postponement of council polling in those states. What exactly went wrong is something that's giving many people concern, especially when you also look at the timing of the postponement of the council polling in those states. It's only trying to tell Nigerians and the people of Ondo State that they did not know that political parties did not field candidates or bring in nominations, that it waited till the week of election before it's coming out to say because parties have not sent in nominations, that's why they are not going ahead with the election, and the postponement is indefinite. It leaves much more to be desired. What do you think, Zahid?
Of course, when you take a look at the fact that the last local government election held in Ondo State was in August, and of course during August 2020, and during that particular period, chairmen for local government, the 18 local government areas of the state emerged and of course went on to fill the mandate of their tenure in terms of the lifespan. And subsequently after that ran out, the ODEC, even before it ran out, ODEC, Ondo State Independent Electoral Commission, started also making announcement of its readiness, its preparations to conduct another election into the local government administration of Ondo State. But when you now check, for example, check online, Ondo local government election, you find so many things that now become synonymous. You see Ondo State, you see postponement. It appears that when you now, try to check for these things online, you come back with the feedback that appears perhaps we're not taking all of these things very seriously, because I'm looking at what the papers are reporting from about the local government election from the time it last held in August 2020. You find Ondo LG election postponed indefinitely. You also find, even as at February 2024, I think that's also part of the moment that we've had this election postponed. Ondo shifts local government election by 5 months. This publication from the dailies is dated 13th February 2024. And of course, you also find the fact that this election even should have held last year, December. Part of what you also see on that is, the news report on the supposed or the planned conduct of the local government election. It says Ondo to hold LG election by December 2023. So many things, 2023. So many things happened in that mix. We're trying to figure all of these things out, and the players are also very critical to this conversation and as such, we will be reaching out to them to really come explain to the people, because ODEC came out to announce that the fact that political parties did not submit nominations of those who will be filling or will be vying on their platforms to the commission definitely has no basis to conduct election.
I feel that IPAC also has a lot to tell the people of Ondo State, why it has been quiet and silent all along, and all of a sudden it's finding its voice to come out to say, yes, we're definitely boycotting the election and all of that. You listen to the chairman of IPAC saying there are a lot we need to tell the governor and this and that is not really, well, to many minds, holding water. You're saying that we need to advise the governor on certain issues of governance, and should that affect the constitutional provision for holding a local government election? Or are you saying that it's about the ruling party, or are you saying it's about the opposition party? What exactly are you talking about? I think looking at the quest and the cry for autonomy of the local government should also extend to the autonomy, the independence, as it were, of the electoral body of states. No matter what you want to talk about the so-called independence or otherwise of INEC, you still find INEC living up to its bidding, at least to some extent, to reasonable extent, so to say. I'm not sure you find INEC to say because of one thing or the other, then the tenure of the president has expired and we are postponing indefinitely. You'll be plunging the nation into what I can term constitutional lacuna. So what then is the difference between that and what currently is happening at the state level? Many states you find caretaker committee now, caretaker committee at another time. In Rivers State currently, it's about caretaker committee. And so what are we talking about at the grassroots that is started to be the closest to the people? And when you are not dishing out good governance to the people at the grassroots, I wonder what exactly you are doing in the general whole. So there must be a way to look at promoting efficiency of state electoral bodies such that they're not in the pocket of anyone as it is being perceived in many quarters. So there must be a way that ODEC will come out clean and let the people know what exactly is going on and how well it's tackling whatever challenge is really inhibiting its constitutional duties.
And for the Inter-Party Advisory Council, I think they also, in a way, hold the people to account for some of the reasons behind the decision they've taken to boycott this election. Because regardless of the fact that when you go around, perhaps some say when you survey opinions, some persons are usually indifferent about the conduct of local government elections, even not just in Ondo State, across Nigeria. But perhaps it's that time where political parties also need to take some of these things seriously in terms of knowing that they have a responsibility to the people. Some would say, take for instance, Nigeria is where an individual can run independently. Would we have a situation where a group of political party or a body that's said to be, an inter-party advisory for the political party will say they're threatening or they're boycotting an election? Well, that could have even just allowed individuals to come out to sell themselves to the people. So these are some of the things we need to look at critically in the days ahead, and we are really hoping that we have these conversations to really spotlight these issues, because ODEC several years said it would go ahead with the election. Some persons would say perhaps ODEC to the level of confidence, the doubts and all of that surrounding the conduct of some of these elections. And of course, now the political parties also coming in the mix, and it appears we have two parties that need to really speak to the people on their plans, their reasons, and perhaps what the people should be looking forward to. Because now ODEC says it's an indefinite postponement, and that word indefinite, in the previous period, about 2 times that this election has been postponed, ODEC gave timeline. ODEC said, okay, in the next 2 months, in the next 5 months, we will be holding this election. But now that it appears that it's indefinite, many were thinking, will this ever come? Seriously, because now you also remember Sunday, there was a time during the period where the local government, local council development areas also came on board. You know, ODEC also had a lot on its hand at that time to really, you know, get a conversation to the people as to how it wants to conduct this election, taking into cognizance the dynamics, as it was then, of the creation of the local council development areas into consideration. The issue of delineation, the wards, where the units will be, and all of that also, you know, came up at that time for ODEC. So all of these put together, the last election was in 2020. Now we're in 2024. This election should have been held, but it has not been, and definitely we need to have critical conversations around this particular election going forward.
Zaid, the flip side of this matter is also to charge those who currently hold sway at the ends of affair, at grassroots. That's the head of local government administration, the heads of local government administrations at the 18 council areas in Ondo State. Well, I think this is a time for them to really show that they have capacity, and not to tell us that they're bureaucratic politicians, because that's what it will seem if there's no difference in whatever it is that they're doing currently and what politicians have been doing in terms of impact on the life of the people. Well, yes, there's a problem currently, and if you ask me, it's a logjam, a situation where you have to postpone local government elections indefinitely. Heads of local government administrations should not see this as, wow, a time for us to, no, it should be a time to make impact. It should be a time to really say, yes, we've all been complaining that politicians are good or politicians are bad or whatever color you want to paint them. Now the politicians are not in charge. You are in charge. Are we seeing any positive change? Are you really doing anything that will foster a good livelihood for the people? What exactly are we seeing? Are your hands cuffed to the back? Or you're really performing? Or are there things inhibiting what should be your performance? I think they must really prove to the people that, well, bureaucracy could be the hope of common man at the grassroots. If not, I wouldn't know the difference between 6 and half a dozen.
Okay, really good. So it's about now driving development, really, because regardless of the fact that we have heads of local government administration, the government or the administration must run, and that's what they've been doing since you know, the tenure of the former chairman expired, and up until now, that's what they still have. They have that mandate. They might be civil servants, or they are civil servants, but they also have the responsibility, because the conversation around who even drives policies of government is also right, because you know, politicians will provide perhaps the political leadership, but of course, really, the people who need to get the job done, we need to drive some of these things to the people, see the implementation really benefit the people and the government workers. So how well are these sets of local government also, you know, refiring their people, their workers, to say, look, we are in charge, perhaps spending when we have a chairman or a substantive politician leading the local government, but really we must deliver to the people. And of course, the issue of resources is also getting some of these things done. Some would say perhaps it's not everything that you think you know, could be achieved. There are policies of government that really, the duties have been aligned, the workers have been employed to do this, and of course, as simple as it could be, just a few weeks ago, we saw the Akure South local government and backing local government, backing on sensitization against cholera. Have we also seen this being replicated in other local government? I'm not saying perhaps it's only Akure South that is doing something of this nature, but how well have we seen, you know, all of these things in terms of really ensuring that the people are the core of policies of government, at the core of the implementation itself of government's policy, really, you know, get to their doorstep. So we're hoping from Okitipupa, Irele, Odigbo, Ondo East, Ondo West, Ikare, Akoko Northwest, Akoko Southwest, we really hope that, you know, the people are really getting the value for what they really deserve.
Well, Zahid, finally from me on this matter, I also think that it's time we tinker with the way and manner the grassroots is administered. While I understand that the case is on, and I wouldn't want to refer to that, but I feel that it is important that there's a way that the grassroots will be well administered such that the people get what we have always termed dividends of democracy. For instance, we're talking about rural access roads, we're talking about markets, we're talking about all of these things. There should be a way that the local government is also involved. Many state governors will tell you that yes, we partner with local government to do this and that. That should be a willing, voluntary partnership, not coerced, not forceful, not compelling. So there must be, not compulsive. So there must be a way that we are able to talk about governance at the grassroots in such a way that the people get to decide what they want, how, when, and where. And again, the bottom-up approach to development.
Talking about the people also getting involved in deciding what they really. You remember also a flashback to when the issue of the LCDA first came up, and when some of these divisions were made. We saw illustrious sons and daughters of various communities that at that time were given the LCDA to come out to make donations to ensure that the local council development areas get to run efficiently. Some gave their houses, some gave financial support to ensure that, look, this thing has come, we must ensure that it works well. But now that we are still in this status quo, how much of that involvement are we also seeing from the people themselves, the traditional rulers, even those who are living in the community? How well are we asking questions about what the local government is even doing? So we hope that we get critical conversations around these, and those, or perhaps everyone, would get to play a part towards ensuring development.
An addendum: government should not send a signal that it's not serious with local government administration in those states. The government must show the people that it's really serious about it. You're talking about people trying to support the initiative of deepening and expanding grassroots governance, but when they see all these zigzag movement of government, they might not really be encouraged. So there must be a way that government will show the people, not tell the people, show the people that it's actually serious about improving grassroots governance. That, for me, would go a long way in helping local government administration in Ondo State and Nigeria as a whole. We'll take another break. When we return, other topical issues will be taking center stage. Please do stay with us, everyone.
As we are all aware, this is also the year for our governorship election. Expectedly, political activities will gain prominence as we march towards the election. However, let me implore all political parties, aspirants, and their followers to eschew violent conduct that can threaten the peace and tranquility of our state, and ensure that they follow strictly the guidelines issued by the electoral umpire. The election should be a contest of ideas and choices, and not an opportunity to settle political scores or an excuse for calumny.
èjú bá jà o. èjú bá jà o. ọ̀nà ọlọ́run bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o.
èràbé má bá jà o má bá bínú ọ̀nà ọlọ́run bá ti rẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá jà o ọ̀nà ọlọ́run bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o.
There's a big economy that is being a problem to Nigeria. The livestock and animal husbandry. Ordinary dairy farm can grow an economy. Not to talk of yogurt and many other things that can come from animal. Talk to the governors. Let them make lands available. Talk to others to collaborate with, the state. The lands are in the hands of the state governors. They can make provision for it. We are ready to put funds in place to help the herders rear the animal in a very, very, very polite way. We can do it, and we are going to do it.
Welcome back, everyone. Of course, the conversation shifts now to the political arena in Ondo State as we look at the Udatiwa Women Initiative and the Real Women in the struggle for electoral significance. We've been joined this morning by the Special Advisor Designate on Women Affairs, Dr. Oluwaseun Shamaye. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
And good morning, Father. Thank you so much.
Well, let's start with the fact that many political parties are saying that your party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, seems to be living in the glory of the past and saying that many people are not with the APC anymore. You find you going into federal government and some other places saying that you're mobilizing women. The question is, are these rented crowds? Who really are they?
Well, thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for that particular question. The truth of the matter is that our party, the All Progressive Congress, is not just the most popular, it is also the most accepted party in Nigeria and in Ondo State. Considering the fact that in recent years, most elections conducted are overwhelmingly won by our party's flag bearer. And I can assure you by November 16th, we are also going to repeat the same fate. It's a difference, and that's going to be that our governor is going to emerge victoriously with an overwhelming numbers. I must say that the numbers you see on the streets are not rented at all. Okay. The women come out to show their support, to show their love for Mr. Governor. Just yesterday, we were in several places in the North Senatorial District of Ondo State. We were in Iboropa, we were in Helpeme. In the rain, when I got to Upeme, I was shocked when I saw the number of women massively. I'm sure with time, your station, our station, because Osrc is one of the stations I love watching too, you will see the turnout at those places.
What motivates those people?
I want to tell you that.
You provide logistics?
No. I don't think it's about the logistics. I want to believe it's a natural thing. You're an adult.
You don't believe it's about the logistics?
No.
You provide
I don't
logistics?
think. No.
Okay.
Let me be honest with you.
Please.
We are in a political arena that the numbers that come, there is no adequate. You can't say you have an adequate logistics for those numbers, and they keep coming. So we have adults, people who leave their workstations, who leave their farms, who leave whatever they are doing, their market, their shops, to come out to say, I want to identify with the governor's representative. I want to stand to say, I'm also supporting Mr. Governor. So it is loved. It can't be bought. So it's not about logistics. It's about their love, their interest on the governor and the party.
What should spur their interest, their love for the governor and the party?
Because
what exactly
God bless you, because they could see
see
a unique difference. I tell people, for every person, people can see beyond the veil. They can see your intention, your motive for them. Once they see that as a leader, you are altruistic about them. You are altruistic, you are determined, you are conscious, you are making deliberate effort. Look at what the governor has just done recently in terms of providing resources for the local government retirees. You think people are not aware? You think people in the rural communities are not aware of some of these efforts? They are. So that is what some of these things have done to, spur their interest in the governor and the representation or the representative that comes out to greet them, to identify with them. So they come out. So it's not about the logistics. It's not about what we are giving them. It's about their love for the governor. We've had governors, we've had House of Rep members, we've had leadership that have resources to provide, and people will come out to attend to them. So it shows when the people are with you, when they love you, they come out to support you. So I want to categorically say that the numbers on the streets are not imagined. These numbers are true and they are factual. They are numbers that shows the popularity, the acceptance, the love of the people, of the ordinary people of this state for Mr. Governor.
What would you say is the basis of your identification with these people? Now you're moving across the states. I understand you were somewhere in Akure North?
No, Akoko North. Yes, I was in Ajagusi.
Yes, so
yes.
And now you've moved to Akoko
yes.
again. So
I was in
the
about
basis
3
of
different
this
local governments.
identification with the people?
Okay, thank you so much. I think the first thing after my appointment that I did was to sit with Mr. Governor. I needed to understand, I need to have an understanding of what his intentions are towards the women of Ondo State.
What are those intentions?
Yes, because I needed to understand. No, once I'm appointed, you will know that we'll do a media plan, and then we'll have a blueprint. We introduce our blueprint to the state.
We're already moving around to some of these
yes,
people.
because we are executing.
So we should know some of these intentions.
Yes, I will. We are implementing some of the ones that are not official, okay? And that is engagement of rural women, that is women in rural communities, underserved communities. Like when we went to Ajagusi, Ajagusi is a community that past governments have not visited. Okay, we had a man who came out to say, have been living in this community for 40 years and no government representative has ever been here.
Some would
And
say,
you know we went there.
some would say government representative have been there.
No, Ajagusi. Let me be honest with you. No, what I mean is this. When we say a government representative has never come to identify with the place, it's not that voting does not take place. When a voting takes place, it's different from when a government official comes to them to say, how are you doing? How are you faring? How can we help you? How can we make life better for you?
What is the honesty of this identification with the people, especially coming at a time when you're looking for their votes?
The truth of the matter is they have to give us the benefit of doubt. Life itself is about taking risks.
And after the election, you'll still be identifying with them?
Definitely we will.
Has that been the experience over the years?
That is why we are different. We are unique.
APC has been in power in the last 7 years.
It's not about
so
APC. It's about the identity of the leadership in office. I tell people.
The platform is the same.
It's about the personality that drives. Okay, it is a personality that drives a position. It's not about the position or the platform. Of course, I'm just saying it. We've had governorship, we've had leadership in the state in time past. But we sat down to say, where are the underserved communities? Where are the communities that government has never been to? Let's go to such places. Let's talk to them. Let's tell them we are with them. How we went there. When we went to those places, we saw the roads. Some of the roads are bad. There were no electrification. There was not even a maternity center. And then what we did, we started talking to government officials. We spoke to Mr. Governor. We spoke to people about these items, about these needs that needs to be prioritized, that needs to be done. But if we had not gone there, how are we going to be able to identify some of these challenges these people are facing? So the first step is to show interest in the welfare of the people and then identify and strategize on how to help them. And that's exactly what we did. So we went to Ajagusi, we went to some of these rural communities, and I can tell you, the places we've been to so far, the women are so enthusiastic, they are so happy, because they've never seen a government person come to tell them. Like when we went to Ekwini, the KBSC came out to receive us. The women, the rain, we actually got there very late, and they waited for hours for us to come in the rain. So it was amazing to see those people waiting in the rain. What do you give? How do you quantify what you give such people?
Well, you said it's the love for your principal, the governor,
Yes,
that's driving the people. I'd like to know what drives you. What's your motivation in this regard? Many people are wondering, why is Osama in a haste? Why isn't she waiting to be sworn in? Why, as special advisor designate, she's all over the place and not until she's sworn in as a special advisor indeed?
Thank you so much. I want to say that we are just starting. That's the truth, because this is me. This is my person. It's not about my position, okay? I've always been passionate about the women, especially the vulnerables, especially the underserved. I must tell you that what this position is simply going to do is to amplify what I do as a person. That's the truth. Because now I have a platform, I have a larger platform. I've always been an a person that has a focus that I like accountability, I like response.
So you don't feel you should have waited till you?
No, I do not. No,
actually
honestly,
special advisor.
No, honestly, I don't.
Not special advisor.
Honestly, I honestly feel I don't think I should wait. One of the focus we intend to do is to engage with women in rural communities, not just women but the elderly. So why should I wait until I'm sworn in to do this?
I stand to be corrected.
Thank you so much.
If you are special advisor designate, it means you're not yet in the pool of governance, as it were. So I'm wondering, who's bankrolling your outings and visitations across the states? Or are you already getting funds from government as not a full-fledged government official?
Well, I tell people, once you are given a tool of office, the question of where do you get money from should never come. What should come first is, how do I help people? So for me, I just take each day as it comes. I try to do what I need to do.
Where is the funding coming from?
Honestly, to be honest with you, the funding for some of our projects or for what we do, we can't say specifically this is where it comes from. Okay, that's the truth. Why? Because, like I said, once you are altruistic about it, people, you can't say it's like the blessing of God. It just comes.
You're not drawing money from the political economy?
No, not yet, because I'm not even sworn in. So, every government fund, there's accountability for it. Every kobo spent, there must be a signature, there must be something, there must be an approval.
So you're saying you're not yet signing for money?
Nothing, none at all. And yet we are doing what we are expected to do. I tell you, like I said, there are plans, there are initiatives, there are so many plans that once we are ready, once we are sworn in, we will unveil some of those plans for the people. And as a woman in the state, okay, it doesn't matter what category you belong to, whether you are a young woman, whether you are a career woman, a professional, you are an entrepreneur, you are an elderly woman, you are a market woman, we are going to have a plug into government that you will benefit from. That's what we are trying to do. Every woman in the state, we are going to run an all-inclusive governance. Even female PWDs will not be left out.
We'll get to some of these issues quickly, but from your submission about regarding the funding for some of these activities you're carrying out, I'm beginning to wonder that it appears Osamaye has some partners already in the bag. Is that the case?
Like I tell you, a question of where will money come from should never come. It has always been, it is always, and will always be, how do I have value to my person?
What
do I need to do? How do I get this done? So I just get it done. I don't ask question of where do I get money from? I just do it.
Part of the reasons,
and I think you should also adopt my approach. When I want to listen, please, I'm sorry to cut you short. When I was about to build a library for my institution, at that time that library was about 18 million naira. I was earning 240,000 naira. When I wanted to embark on that project, my husband was like, where will you get money from? You are going to build a library for students who don't even know you, may never say thank you to you. I just told them, please, let's start. And we started. And we finished in 2 years without taking a loan, without taking a copper from anybody.
It's interesting to
So let me tell you, so if I could do that, okay, that should give you an insight into my person. I just get things done. I don't have question of where is the money coming.
We're glad that you have that kind of person, because it's about really ensuring that the people get some form of development, some form of movement towards the positive side of things. But rightly, you've also just confirmed here that your husband also asked certain questions about your intention to achieve this. So we asking, or perhaps raising some of these questions, is also about painting that picture for the people to see.
Honestly, we want to make a difference.
Dr. Osamaye, again, we've seen instances in time past as journalists, as watchers, as a watchdog of society. You find some persons, individuals who are fantastic businessmen, fantastic entrepreneurs outside of government. And when they come to government, they say all of these things.
Because they allow the government to change them.
They some of these things are...
They're not government
You're not coming into government now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
changing?
not even waiting for government. I've not been sworn in. I'm not waiting for government. There are bureaucracies.
What would you tell those who are waiting?
Because I just told you my instance. I work in an office. As at then, I was an aide to the speaker, who is currently the chief of staff to the president. How do I come out to say it's difficult even at that level to influence certain projects back into my institution? But rather than giving excuses, rather than complaining, what I just did was to deny myself of certain privileges. I stopped buying clothes. I stopped going on vacation. I stopped buying, if I was using one Rickety car.
So how do we
and I devoted all of those resources to get things done for my institution.
How do we get a larger percentage of perhaps those who are forming our government to have some of these, mindset that you have?
That is what we are doing, and we are trying to inform the people. Most of the time when I do things, I tell people about it. I put it in the media to encourage them, to motivate them. If I could do this, you could do this too. After I did that for my institution, somebody called me from Owo and informed me that he has requested for a land in Rufus Giwa Polytechnic Owo, that once that building is done and is about to commission it, he will call me to come. That was my story that inspired him. That if Osamaye could do this, I could do it. So that is why we put
because of our time.
activities.
Story will inspire
Not only
others.
Osamaye, because of our time, your special advisor designate on women affairs.
Thank
And
you, sir.
if you agree with me, once it's sworn in, you will be our special advisor on women affairs, including women that are not members of the Ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. What we've seen in the past years have been that you find representative of government forgetting that they are for everyone and not for a political party. Would that also be your case, or you will be making a difference?
Never, because now, like I said, that we are coming into government to make a difference, to change the narrative. Okay, these are the ways of doing things. We are not going to allow that. For me now, coming on board, I've not been sworn in, and yet I've been working. Why? Because I'm not waiting for that bureaucracy of office. For every places we've been to, we never asked the women, where are you from? Are you members of our party? No. So far you are residents in Ondo State and you are an indigene of this place. That's all. Once you are an indigene of this place or you are residents here, that's all.
Because that's
so
what
you are
election
welcome.
demands.
Yeah.
How about issues of development? We've seen places where politicians will tell you, okay, that place is not motorable, not accessible, but polling booths get to those places. In terms of development, the places that you find voters, that you find voters to, you seek after them, you're not able to get to them with development initiatives.
Ajagusi before.
Of course.
You've been to Ajagusi?
Of course. Of course.
Oh, that's good. So I went there. I went to Ajagusi Molato.
On our way there, I'm talking about development reaching them.
How will development reach them if we don't go there to assess them on the spot assessment? I was there.
Was assessed.
Yes, it was. What I'm trying to say is that when I went there, are we voting this month? Are we voting this month? Voting is until November, okay? But I went there. There are encumbrances that is enough to stop us from going. In fact, there were people who stood back, but when they saw me going, do you know what they did? They removed their shoes. There was a place around there that I saw mashed. They removed their shoes and they were there, moving because they saw me going. I didn't draw back. When we went out yesterday, that's why I said it's the leadership, honestly. That's the truth. It's a person that drives a position. And I can tell you that Ondo State's women are in for the breast under the leadership of His Excellency, Governor Lucky Oribisani. We are going to be a model for other states, honestly. By the time we implement the programs that we have come up with, this state will be a learning ground. Go to Ondo State, go and learn what the women are doing.
Will empowerment initiatives be different from what they've seen in the last 7 years?
Definitely.
How different will it be?
Let's watch out. I can assure you that it will be definitely. Because what we are trying to do is to see, I'm a bit exposed, okay? Have gone around, have seen people, I know what they do outside of the state. So now that the governor has considered me worthy of occupying this exalted position, the least we can do for our people is to bring out some of the ideas we see in other places and ensure that this woman has several hands. I tell people, it's not enough. There's nothing government can give you. Government alone cannot solve your problem, and that is why our focus will be on professionals and entrepreneurs, honestly. Do you know why? Because the entrepreneurs are the bedrock of nations, okay? They help government to solve some of the problems. Once we empower them, once they have access to networks and resources, they help to also, multiply and assist other people that government cannot reach. That way, we have a great number of people that we can reach and bring governance to.
All right, Dr. Samai, let's close this conversation with perhaps you giving us an account of how many of these communities you've identified and what are the feedbacks, so people can say, okay, Dr. Samai has told us some of the feedbacks, and perhaps in the days ahead we'll be able to match some of these feedbacks with actualization as they come.
Okay, let me give you an instance of the feedback we got yesterday. The former First Lady actually commented on our post, and she specifically said, please tell Shehu, I know that what she's giving, is it enough and all that. So some of the officials called me and they said, well, let's appreciate her, let's thank her, because what she has done is a critique and not criticism, and we appreciate her for that. First, I told her that what we've gone there to do is engagement. Nobody is listening to the women. They are not talking to them. In time past, they treat women as objects. They just come and say, hey, clap your hands, so support us. But this time around, we are going there to listen to them, to talk to them, to reassure them, to give them hope. That's what we are going to do. So as we are engaging with them, we are taking mental notes, and we are also listing some of the challenges. Then we'll go back, and this will form our policies and action plan for them. So the feedbacks have started coming from our visitation. If the first lady could take her time to write something to say, Shehu, please take note of this and work on this, okay? That's an highest number of feedback, because at a point in this stage, she was the overall of that for years. So if it could come to identify some of the things we need to improve on. So it means feedbacks are coming.
Dr. Sammy, because of our time, we need to wrap up now. You're the Special Advisor Designate on Women Affairs, as the Commissioner for Women Affairs. There are also many other people in the pool. There's a Special Advisor.
Of course.
Because the governor loves women. So, what would be the synergy, or would that be rivalry? How would you be putting it together for the advantage of the women forward?
Well, thank you so much. When Felicia Rasida said, when women gather, magic happens. Okay? That quote has made me realize that women are meant to complement one another. The governor designed the women. I want to say that it is his love for women that made him identify different women that can handle different aspects. When I came, I've not been sworn in.
So you're saying
I can tell you we've had a meeting.
Oh, so there'll be
a lot of synergy.
I have to thank you so much, Dr. Oluwaseun Osamai, because she's the Special Advisor Designate on Women Affairs, and according to her, she's hit the ground running, assuring women that better deal ahead. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Everyone, it's a wrap, and we thank you so much for being a part of it. From my colleague Zahid and Salah.
Do well to enjoy Wednesday. Friday is another time for him today.
Of course, join us on Friday. I'm Sunday Kolawole. Enjoy the rest of the day. Good morning.